I'm going to have that so she has it for her records.
I know, but I was so confused.
You want where you print it?
Yeah.
I'll get out of the way then. Sure, and they have the geometry templates.
Okay,
so if you want to have them take that out. Russell, will you grab the ruler pin and put it on the center table? And if you have rulers in your desks, kiddos, grab those up.
No. Alright, does everyone have their name out, or you can hold it up by point, you can hold it up on side. I won't be able to memorize all of them.
Right.
Keep them on your table. Alright, so I heard that you all learned about the area of a circle. Since I don't know what you know, since I haven't been teaching here, can you tell me what you know about area of a circle? Yes.
So you have to do the diameter times pi.
Diameter times pi. For the area?
Yeah. No, for the volume. No, for the volume. Right? No, I'm so confused.
That's okay.
I think so, yeah.
Of a circle.
No, wait. No.
Of a circle. Here.
Radius
Squared.
No. Yes, it's diameter times pi.
No, it isn't. Who can help her out? Does anyone know for sure? I like your thinking though. You're a little ahead of yourself. We're about to get there. Yes, what's your name?
TJ?
TJ.
Radius squared times pi.
Radius squared times pi equals, what do we say?
Volume?
Area. Good. Area. So, today we're going to talk about the circumference. Raise your hand if you've heard the word circumference before. Good. So you've all heard the word circumference. Who can tell me, does anyone know what the circumference is of a circle? Not the equation, but just the definition of it? Yes. What's your name?
I'm Charlotte.
Charlotte.
It's like around the circle.
Yeah, so the circumference is the distance around a circle. If you were to walk all the way around the circle, how far would you walk?
The circumference.
That's the circumference. Good. So, when we're talking about circumference, we talk about what things you know about a circle. So we said we knew the area formula. This is the area. What else do we know about a circle? What does this R stand for? Yes.
I don't know.
Are you sure? The R?
Radius?
Yeah, radius. Good. So, who can come up and draw the radius for me? What does the radius look like? Can you come on up and do... Good, yep. That's the radius.
Good
Who can
ride.
come up and draw the diameter? Do you remember the diameter is? Andrew? Oh, good. Yep. So that's the diameter. The diameter goes all the way across the middle of the circle, and the radius goes halfway. Right from the middle to the side. Alright, so we are going to learn the circumference formula, but I'm not going to tell you the circumference formula. Some of you may already know it, but if you don't, you're going to be able to figure it out by this chart. So what you're going to do is I'm going to partner you up, and you and your partner are going to choose different circular objects. I have a bunch up here. I'll bring them up to the front. I have a bunch of circular objects. You're going to grab one, and you're going to measure it, the circumference, with a string. So you're going to have a string and a round object. How do you think you can use a string to measure a round object? Yes?
You can put it around the circle
Mhm.
and measure the string.
Yep, so you can grab a string, And you can take one, made them pretty long, and you can measure it. That's why you may need your partner to help you hold it, and you're going to measure it all the way around. Once I have that, how do I figure out the distance though? So this is just an arbitrary piece of string. How do I measure the distance then? Yes?
You have to like measure it with a ruler.
Yeah, so what you'll do is you'll put it around the round objects, you'll kind of pinch it with your fingers, and you'll put it up to a ruler, and I have 2 yardsticks up here that you can use, so you can go up and grab a yardstick. Oh, perfect, you have a bunch. Good, so you can come up and grab a yardstick and measure it that way. So, in the first column you're going to write the object. I have frisbees, paper plates, tape, some metals, so just write what you wrote, write what you measured, measure the circumference, the diameter, and then you're going to divide the circumference by the diameter. Does anyone know why we would do that? Divide the circumference by the diameter. Charlotte?
To get the radius?
Maybe. Well, you're going to find out. You're going to find out. You should find some type of pattern once you start dividing. You start finding dividing the circumference by the diameter in this column. You should begin to see a pattern. And from there, I'll come around and I'll ask you some questions. And hopefully from there, you'll be able to figure out the formula for circumference. So, Paul, was I correct that you have sticks to
Yeah,
partner people up?
the green little, and the kids will grab it for you.
Or blue?
The
Okay.
blue tips,
Blue?
I think, yeah. That sounds right.
Okay, so let's have Addie and Ryan. You can come on up, grab a paper, an object, a yardstick or a ruler. Anthony and Cassidy. Thomas and Stephen. Steven's not here. Thank you. Thomas and Caroline. Andrew and Audrey. Emilio and Regan. Reagan. Charlotte and Hannah. Russell and Quinn. Oh, yeah. Russell and Quinn. Matthew and Logan.
Is this a cap or a frisbee?
Bridget and Cole. Daniel and Samantha. Mickey and Sophie and TJ, your group of 3. So TJ, Mickey, and Sophie, your group of 3. No, I want everyone to have their own paper. So you're both reporting. We need our own If you need a calculator, you can use one. So bring out your calculators.
What did you get? Brian, Diana. What?
Prom 2005. Oh my God.
I have mine.
You measured that a diameter.
Oh, like you said.
Make sure you have units on your measurements. Make sure you have units. Otherwise the numbers don't mean anything.
It was for the science thing.
And then
What?
Why? Yes. Okay. Diameter.
Wait, why did
Yeah, it's missing last year's average. It's everything, yeah, it's the 17th year here.
Okay. So 5 divided by diameter is
It was upstairs.
Okay, and then so that's
Yeah, you're
no,
dividing.
it's not right. It's about 4.5
plus 37. So 37 plus 3.
Making them
So,
sequence of rarity. You know, I'm like, I was thinking the name tag was up with that.
Wow, we divide
That's the right name tag, so it can make a difference, but. Yeah. Another kid really likes to move around. You should ask Miss Smith though, she's in charge of that. She's probably really into that.
Oh yeah, we got more teachers in the room.
Oh wait, you actually measured my pencil? Oh my god. How did you measure it? So are you guys using this? No. 15. Wait, actually, yes. Oh yeah, we are.
This one?
I'm just gonna call it shaking top. Well, the diameter is well, it could be perfect. Oh, sometimes okay, so take yours.
Where's the diameter?
What's getting sewn up? Oh, here. Here, Russell. Russell, be right here.
Take this.
Yeah.
You guys are fighting.
Why? They sold us out.
The fire.
So why do you think why do you know that for sure? Let's measure it, let's see. So let's measure the diameter and see. So measure the diameter. So you're doing centimeters? Yeah, about.
So 3.16.
So check this one again too. Make sure Make sure you're actually measuring the diameter. There should be a pattern in here that you should be finding. If you're just doing it by hand, you're not be able to find it.
Yeah.
28. I mean, 88.
So maybe be so small that it didn't allow you to make you wouldn't find
I would call it
as much as I like saying it, what entire string?
Wait, bring
So we can see
Oh, yeah.
place.
Oh, okay.
I'll measure it.
Okay, I have one thing to say. One, that is not so. Two, if it wasn't supposed to be too long.
So we
Millimeters different than miles. Okay, so
Then we can measure that. So 18 inches. Let me write that down.
That's all I need. So what are you noticing about me? You have to find
Are the numbers close?
You're out of here this year, right? South Middle School, all out of here. Middle school.
Let me measure the diameter.
You get food here.
we got some.
we just called it.
Sometimes we do it, sometimes they don't.
I will be.
Right?
I want to take it.
Yes, I would have. Well, first of all, we weren't told we were. They just basically told us very Yeah, I told Melanie this morning, and she's like, it'll probably be me being yourself.
Okay, so the answer.
She's like, it'll probably just be me if you don't get it.
Not a lot, but.
Like when you were hired, I bet you didn't think you'd be subbing half the time.
Wait, measure this. Measure this.
Four.
you're like the 14th person to be like, hey, let me carry your bags. Oh my gosh. Well, I told them, I go, just let me know the details so I know I'm getting myself into. I'll let you know, but it's not coming.
Shorts, Matt.
It's more like a spear.
I mean, I know you don't have to take sex. I don't mind if you're from so, you know,
Do you see anything that's
I used to do more of it before I anything that I did. I used to get out more and do that because there's nothing to do.
You guys are really Let's ask. Do you want this?
Yeah, pal?
That's right.
Are you guys
What's up, though?
So this will be your Anthony Eden.
No, 16 other people already asked before me, so I no, you're on a wait list. I don't wait. Take them out one by one. So
Can I see the other 15? Alright.
Alright, they're all busy. They're working on shows like that. Sorry.
Give them all epic act. Like, yeah, they're sick. They're all sick.
Right. Around these.
Okay, our next one. Oh my gosh. Screen doesn't go around.
Does the plate that you did? I would check.
That means I will play again. Okay, this we have to measure orange.
She's vice president of the PTA. She comes here a lot.
Well, that relationship's going to change quite a bit. Because we're moving to a new platform with our district school website. So currently, he does our calendar. So if you go to our website, everything that's on the calendar is on there for the tour.
So I want you to at least, is everyone at least measured 3 or 4 things? Yeah. Great, alright. So bring your objects back up to the front table and then take a seat and we'll talk about what kind of patterns we saw in our measurements. Yeah, we can talk about string up in front too.
To your website? I'm wondering if you because all she does is all just like cooking and stuff. And then the district stuff is just on the calendar. So that's nothing for us. Like, still
This one doesn't belong to me.
Send me like a long email.
They're involved in
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know. Sure.
you know,
Very thorough.
Yes.
Alright, come on, Nick, take a seat.
All right, Cub Scout 1 in third grade. He's in Donna's class.
Does anyone think they found or saw some type of pattern in their calculations? Yes.
Well, when we found the diameter,
Mm-hmm.
we found that the circumference, like 4.5, is close to 12 if you multiply it by 3.
Good, that's a good observation. So tell me what your circumference was.
The circumference of the one I just said,
Yeah.
12 centimeters.
And what was your diameter?
4.5 centimeters.
It was 4.5. It didn't matter if you did centimeters or inches.
Okay.
So he noticed that the diameter is about, or the circumference is about 3 times larger than the diameter. So if you times 4 by what? To get 12. 3, it would be 12. We have that 0.5. So 3 plus a little more. So we go around. Here's the diameter. Is the diameter smaller or larger than the circumference? Smaller. It's smaller. 4.5 and 12. It's smaller. So with that, how many times do you think the diameter goes around the circumference? If I took this and I had a string, I do have a string. I have the string. How many times do you think this is going to go around my circle?
Twice.
3 times.
I think it's 2. Raise your, hold up a 2 if you think it's 3. Hold up a 3. Let's see. So it should go around. Let's see if I can do this. Probably not. It should go around about 3 times and a little more. 3 and a little more. And that's what, when you divided circumference, I'll just put C for circumference, you guys all know that, by diameter, you should have gotten in that column around 2 to 3. Raise your hand if you got 2, about 2 to 3 in that fourth column. 2 to 4? Okay. Does anyone, Andrew, do you have a question?
You know, after you got with the tape, in the last column it was like 6.054.
Okay, so for that, there must have been some type of just human error. They're not all going to be the same because we use a piece of string that's frayed at the bottom and we move our fingers a little bit. So there's a little bit of human error when we measure, especially when we go from a string to a ruler to a circular object. So it's going to be a little bit of human error, so that's okay. But there should be all mostly be around 3. Does anyone know a symbol or a mathematical symbol that represents 3 and a little more? What you think about it, a mathematical symbol that's 3, a little more. Cole?
Pi.
Pi. What does pi equal?
3.1115925.
Good. I'm just going to
He
put
does it
3.14, all right? So 3.14 is equal to pi. So what do you think you calculated when you divided circumference divided by diameter? You should have gotten about 1/4. So do you see how pi, the definition of pi is circumference divided by diameter? You may have been a little bit off just by some of the objects I brought in weren't perfectly circular and the human error in your measurements, but you should have gotten around 3.14 for pi. So with that, we know that circumference divided by diameter equals pi. We know that now. Can anyone think, I'm going to give you some time to think about how we can find the circumference formula. We know it has to deal with diameter and we know it has to deal with pi. I want you to think about it. What was your name again? Yes.
Anthony.
Anthony saw something cool about how circumference is about 3 times bigger than the diameter. How do you think that we can find circumference with diameter, and pi? What's your name?
Daniel.
Daniel?
Times the diameter by pi
So you're saying diameter
times pi.
times pi equals
Circumference.
circumference?
And then the other way, I guess. Wait, no. And then the other way. would
Yeah,
be
so
divide.
if you go
Circumference divided by
circumference.
diameter.
So we have circumference divided by diameter equals pi. And we have Daniel saying that diameter times pi equals circumference. I want you to test that on one of the things that you measured. That you got around 3 for. I want you to try that out. See if diameter times pi, for pi you can just use 3.14, or you can use your pi symbol. And see if you get around the same circumference that you got in that first column. So I want you to test it out. See if it works.
Which one did you get on 3?
One.
Time. No. Okay, so what was the diameter? 3. So you're going to do 3.14 times. Oh,
Let's try to division.
You can use a calculator if you need. Yeah, so you gotta choose one. Let's do this concept. What's the diameter? 7. And let me see the equation. 7 is diameter times.
It's from Jimmy John's. Typically, and anytime they have something like that, we'll just print out just like that. And then you can just say, hey, choose the sandwich how you want it, put your name on it, and then somebody can call it
Did you guys find it that it works or it's close at least?
or you can do something, do pizza again. I mean, that's really easy. You know, Rob and Debbie have my pizza card number.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, so when I had Debbie here, I said, hey, you can have my pizza card number. If you order it, you can fill it in.
So as a class, let's all say it. Count of 3. We think that this is the equation for circumference. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
About.
Right.
So it should be about, if you multiply the diameter by pi, we said pi was circumference divided by diameter, you should get the circumference. So at least, is this table close? This table close?
Yeah.
Yes? Was anyone exact? You were exact? That's awesome. You guys close? No? What did you measure?
I measured the reflector. My diameter was 3 inches, so I times it by pi, and I got 9.42 when the actual thing was 11.
Well, let's see. What was the circumference though?
11.
You did the reflector.
Yeah.
Let's check that diameter again. The diameter kind of looks like a radius. Looks a little bit like a radius. It looks too small to be a diameter.
Let me check it.
Yeah, double check that. Alright, so I have one little extra problem for you. Let's say this was a bike tire. This is a bike tire. And I say that the diameter, which is all the way across, is about 8 inches. What's the circumference? How do we figure? First, tell me how to figure out what is the circumference. Yes.
So you do 8 inches times 3.14.
So 8 inches times 3.14, which is pi.
Equals.
I don't have the answer. I'm gonna give it to
I do.
someone else. Yes.
25.12.
Yep. You're right. Let's say this since this is a bike tire, how far would this bike tire roll if it rotated one time around? See if I measured this spot right here, and if it went all the way around, how far would it roll if it went once all the way around? It's a little tricky. So if let's say I put a little piece of tape right here, or on the ground right here, and I rolled the bike tire once all the way around, how far would the bike tire go? Yes, you, in the Blackhawk shirt. Cole, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
25.12 inches.
It would go 25.12 inches. How do you know that?
Because that was the circumference of the
So if I took the string and I wrapped it around and I laid it straight, that's how far the bike tire would roll. It would roll 25.12 inches. All right. I'm going to have you complete this one problem on this exit slip. I'm going to see if you guys can do it. It shouldn't take very long. I think you have it too. You'll all be able to easily do it. Yep, write your name and write. You can use a calculator if you don't have a calculator. You can use
Use your noggin.
use your noggin. Once you are done, you can make a pile.
Oh no. It's okay. It's already
I broke it. You can make a pile on the chair of your exit slips.
Hold on.
We take that thing off.
One time I broke this thingy. My cousin in my place. It was like all I didn't put my name on it. I didn't put my name on it. It's not the bracelet. Weird.